JJ the CPA here. Hope you're doing well. Big news for the self-employed, sole proprietor, independent contractor, gig worker, those that file Schedule C for Paycheck Protection Program, announcing this afternoon, February 22nd, is that you will be able to base your PPP loan on your gross receipts. No more than 100,000 will count still, but it's based on the gross. We know that since the beginning of Paycheck Protection Program, it's been based on the net. It's been based on line 31, which is the net after all deductions. Now, it will be based on your gross. What happens, though, if you already applied for PPP? First draw, meaning you applied for it in 2020. But you then didn't qualify for second draw, even though your gross was down. And the reason you may not have qualified for the second draw, even if your gross was down, is because your net for 2020 may have been a loss, which then left you out in the cold. So when the new PPP, the second round, the round that came out in 2020, it has a first draw and a second draw. First draw is just simply you didn't get it in 2020. You didn't get PPP. So if you didn't get PPP, then you do first draw out of the second round. If you got PPP in 2020 out of the first round, then you would apply for the second draw. However, the second draw required that your gross be down by 25% in any given quarter in 2020 versus 2019. So the thing to note here is that you want to reevaluate your options, because even if you didn't qualify for the second draw because you had a loss, you now can qualify for second draw, assuming that your gross receipts are down. But guess what else? They already have a provision that you can reapply for first draw in terms of when this came about. And you could apply for first draw again even if you got the first draw in 2020, if you were going to qualify then for more. And at the time that this new stimulus was put out, the farmers and ranchers, those that file Schedule F, were able to base, and still are, their PPP in this round two based on their gross. And so there were many farmers and ranchers that didn't need to go to the second draw if they already got the first draw, if they, in essence, didn't even qualify previously because they had a loss. So they could go back to the first draw and reapply. So the same provisions that you see are available to the farmers and ranchers, those that file Schedule F, these are now going to be the same provisions for you filing Schedule C, which is it's based on your gross receipts up to $100,000. Another way to know, well, can I qualify for more, is, well, was your first round, the amount you got in 2020, was it $20,833, yes or no? Because $20,833 is the max that a sole proprietor, single member LLC filing a Schedule C, independent contractor, gig worker, you name it, those that file Schedule C, that's the max that they qualified for, assuming they had no employees. Because the max is $100,000 divided by 12 times 2.5, which is $20,833. So if you didn't get that amount in the first round as in 2020, then you're going to qualify for more, and you would do that under first draw. If you got the first draw and you got the max, but then you didn't qualify for the second draw because you didn't have your gross receipts down, that might be the only specific circumstance where you wouldn't be able to get any more because you already got the max in the first draw and you didn't have your gross receipts down to qualify for the second draw. So for the self-employed, the gig worker, the independent contractor, that Schedule C filer, call it whatever you want. If you file Schedule C, get with your bank and ensure that you got the most that you can. And at the end of the day, if you need it, keep going after it in terms of getting somebody to help you with this. Now, today is February 22nd. It hasn't been officially announced. It's part of the White House briefing's official statement, a fact sheet that has been put out. So this is happening. It just hasn't been announced. There's plenty of documentation in terms of news articles related to this, which is all to tell you, now the SBA's got to catch up with this, and the banks need to catch up with this. So stay tuned related to that. I'm going to put a couple of links in the body of this. The first one is to this White House briefing. I don't care about your politics. It's the White House briefing that is addressing this for PPP. The second is I'll put the main page to the SBA website about PPP, and you'll just need to be keeping an eye on that. And then I'll do additional videos that are related to this. So if you're watching this video and there has been additional information put out by the SBA, I will put that link in the body of this video to any future information I'm going to provide related to this. That way this video will stay relevant for you. So look in the body and note this. If you don't see a link to something, it's because nothing's been updated other than the 2 links I told you about. So this is huge news for the Schedule C filer. Make sure you qualify for the max under these new rules and then go get it. All right, hey, thanks for tuning in. I'd love it if you'd subscribe. And then don't you ever forget, you've never met a CPA quite like me. All right, have a great day.